Power versus force. Power versus force when you are manifesting, or to be honest, in life in general. So force is when you have to try and make something happen, or you have to work really, really hard. And when you are doing this, it may indicate that you have a mindset that life is happening to me, okay? And once you get into the mindset that life is happening to you, you start to resist, or you feel like you have to force something. And this puts you in a low vibrational level, low vibrational levels of shame, fear, guilt, pridefulness, wanting, okay? And then that also associates you with victimhood. So life is happening to you and you are a victim, so now you have to force it. It's a way that you can put it together, okay? Now, power. Now, power is when you are at flow and you don't have to put in so much effort because you have the mindset and the knowledge that life is happening for you. And so things flow so much easier for you. And when things flow, you begin to attract your manifestations instead of resisting them. Man, that power when you are at flow. So when you are at flow, it doesn't mean that you're not doing anything. It means you're flowing with everything. Yes, you're doing your positive affirmations, your meditation, your prayer. You're taking steps into the right direction, but you're doing it effortlessly. You are doing it with flow. You don't have to force anything to happen. And when you do that, you begin to raise your vibrations. You begin to sit at higher levels, okay? Associated with courage, acceptance, love, willingness, enlightenment, oneness, okay? So make sure that we are using our power and not force.
I read recently David Hawkins' book, Power versus Force. An amazing book, amazing concept. I can't believe it took me this long to read it. And I offer this whole monster video on YouTube. It's over a half hour long as a treatment on this book and how to go about it and how to use it. But I want to offer for you a very short and pithy insight on how to take the concept of power versus force so that you can just internalize it right now and use it in your life immediately. So I'm going to boil it down to what I feel like is the very basic core of the concept of power versus force so you can have it now. Here's how it goes. Force comes from a place of reactivity, and power comes from a place of centeredness. If we have a problem in our lives, then there's a sense of need behind that problem where if we're hypnotized enough by the problem, we think, I have to solve this problem. I need to solve this problem. Take a minute right now, take a moment right now just to imagine what is it that you feel you need. And I'm not talking about what your body needs, but if I were to say, what do you need? You know, and you may say, well, I need money, or I need somebody to love me, or I need to get something, like this kind of thing. Psychological need, not physiological need. When we're in a state of psychological need, then what we're actually affirming to ourselves is, I can't actually exist comfortably and securely in my own experience until the conditions of my life are met. And once they're met, then I can relax. And this is a fallacy. And this puts us in a forward-leaning motion where we're not centered in ourselves. We're leaning forward. We're stumbling forward. We're trying to get something and we don't know where. This is reactivity. This is force, trying to force an outcome. Power's different. Power is saying, there's nothing that I need. I lack nothing. Power is saying all is well exactly as it is. All the conditions of my experience, I permit all of it to be exactly as it is. It is a state of divine neutrality. And then from an ego perspective, you'd say, well, if you're totally neutral, then what do you do? How do you survive? How do you do anything in the world? And the truth is that when you achieve that state of divine neutrality, then there's power to dissolve problems. See, in a place of force, we are in the dream, trying to solve the dream. But whenever we're in a dream, we're always chasing something. We're always chasing, but the thing that we're chasing is always getting further and further away as we chase it. And there's this endless feedback loop of velocity about it. To be in a state of power is to not to solve a problem, but to allow the problem to dissolve the way you'd wake up out of a dream. And thus this power is not yours to wield. Any power that we feel is like my personal power to wield, that's actually force. To step into power is to realize the power, the only power there is, the power of homeostasis, the power of nature, the power of the deep flow of the Tao. To be aligned with it. It's funny, I coach people on productivity and similar things, and people will come into my life looking for force. They'll say, I have all this stuff to do, how can I get myself to do it? And then my job is to give them little bits to help them solve problems in little localized way, but then to bring in the real medicine, which is to enter into a state where the problems can stop cropping up, where the problems can dissolve, where we're not against anything anymore, where we're not in a state of need anymore, because that's when things get really juicy. That's when we're truly creative, and we can actually start unleashing our deeper creative dormant.
This is the one drug that is keeping you from the relationship of your dreams. The biggest drug in society today is the drug of need. We're addicted to need. We're addicted to the need to be entertained. We're addicted to the need of arguing and proving ourselves right. We're addicted to debate over politics and religion. We're addicted to alcohol. We're addicted to all of the negativity that we see on the news. And when we're so addicted to need in our outside world, how could we not be addicted to need in relationship? You see, when we are in need, we aren't centered. We aren't in our power. We aren't in our strength. And we for sure as heck are not in our connection to spirit and source. And as a result, we attract from that non-centeredness. We attract from that need. And so we end up getting in relationships with human beings that honestly and truthfully don't fulfill us. We end up saying the words, I love you, to people where deep in our minds, we know something is wrong and something is missing. My challenge to you is to find that space within yourself, find that center in your heart and soul that no longer needs and that doesn't need. And when you can find that and you no longer need from the outside world, you'll no longer need a partner. And when you no longer need a partner, you'll be able to step into the truth of who you are, what you want, what you deserve. And that's when everything will change in your relationship.
I'll save you years of time and energy with this life hack. The more you force and try to make things happen, expecting a specific outcome, you create resistance. والحياة ما بتجاملك, you'll be swept away. See, there's a divine order behind all the chaos. And you trying to force things is like you saying, I know better, which you don't. Power starts with accepting things as they are. And that takes courage. So you have to drop back into your heart. And now instead of making things happen, you let things happen. And life moves through you in your own divine time.
Stop giving your power away. Learn to hold your energy. Learn to hold your power. Now, I'm not talking about toning yourself down. In the last TikTok, I spoke about if something makes you happy, keep it quiet. Doesn't matter what it is. New car, new friend, getting fit, doing something, a thought. Or you're putting pictures around of things you like and then you start seeing them out in the real world. If it makes you happy, keep it quiet, no matter how small it is. Why? Because that's where your energy, that's where your joy is coming from. And the minute you share something, chances are, share it with someone who's gonna poo-poo it a little bit anyway. But you're giving away energy. Energy is everything. You need to hold your power. Now, does this mean tone myself down and never say anything? No, it doesn't mean that at all. It means that you're not revealing the source of your power. You don't reveal what's bringing you joy. This is essential. You can talk about 100 other things, but keep quiet what makes you happy and what brings you joy. You need to hold your power, hold your peace. Energy is everything, and energy does not lie. You need to be able to read other people. You need to be able to learn to read energy. There are some people you're going to be quite subdued with. No less powerful, by the way. No less powerful. Power doesn't have to be explosive. It can be controlled. Controlled power is extremely powerful. And understand the difference between power and force. Okay? I'm talking about power. Hold your power. If it is silent and strong, so be it. If it is explosive and joyful, so be it. But don't reveal what it is that brings you joy. Don't reveal the source of your power. And I'll tell you what the source of your power is. It is when you start to hum and click with what brings you joy. It might be a hobby that you're going to turn into a business. It might be a mentor that you found. It doesn't have to be a mentor in real life. You don't have to be face to face. It could be someone online. It could be just, you could see someone doing something that you really want to do.